Junior Spartans, would you please assemble on the side of the bleachers? Junior Spartans, please assemble on the side of the bleachers. Featuring the Findlay Warriors and your University of Tampa Spartans. At this time, we ask that you please stand for as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Now, here are tonight's lineups, beginning with the Findlay Warriors. First, the Warriors reserves. Number 1, Reagan Tyson. Number 2, Reagan Price. Number 3, Victoria Mesher. Number 4, Grace Howard. Number 6, Olivia Pierce. Number 10, Julia Winklefield. Number 12, Lily Bajo. Number 14, Kara Turek. Number 18, Jenna Liger. Number 19, Stephanie Smith. Number 22 is Cecilia Pond. Now the Warrior starters are singing from Maria's Line, Ohio, number 7, Elena Holden. A singer from Salem, Wisconsin, number 8, Lauren Forster. A singer from Tiffin, Ohio, number 9, Emma White. A junior from Versailles, Ohio, number 11, Kristen Bumble. A junior from Ottawa, Ohio, number 13, Myra Alabrock. A junior from Tiffin, Ohio, number 15, Hannah Miller. A junior from Carroll Springs, Illinois, number 16, Andrea Womack. Emmett Grex from Rancho, Ohio, number 21, McKenna Belcher. Head coach of the Oilers of the Culture Hub, assisted by Ken Curran and Scott Monroe. And now, here are your University of Tampa Spartans. First, the Spartans reserves number 5, Rory Lopez. Number 7, Maddie Sofarelli. Number 12, Zoe Richardson. Number 13, Olivia Guzman. Number 16, Lady Purdue. Number 17, Jenny Claudel. And number 33, Miss Carter. The sophomore from Highland Springs, Colorado, number 1, Kayla Darrow. Sophomore from Orangeburg, Florida. Number 2, Copper Ron. Junior from Curado, Puerto Rico. Number 3, Rivera. A senior from St. Petersburg, Florida. Number 6, Gemma Davis. A senior from the University of Alpha Honduras. Number 8, Natalie Herrera. A senior from Louisville, Kentucky. Number 10, Tess Springer. And the senior from Georgia, number 11, Rachel Brown. Head coach of the Spartans by Imperial Assistant with Toronto for the honor of Findlay of the Findlay Volleyball. Let's play ball.
It's the matchup we've all been looking forward to all weekend to wrap up the Tampa Volleyball Classic. 2 top 25 teams in the preseason set to do battle for the first time in over 2 decades. This is the number 24 ranked Findlay Oilers, the reigning GMAC tournament champions, versus the number 10 ranked Tampa Spartans. Good evening, everyone. I am Victor Anderson. Glad you are with us here on TampaSpartans.tv. Both teams 3-0. Both teams going through their 2 matchups, dropping a combined 1 set between them, and that was Findlay, who lost the opening set Friday versus Emmanuel. Tampa dominant in their sweep earlier today versus the Lions 3-0, and Findlay doing the same thing versus Lander. Tonight's starting lineup, first for the visiting Oilers, ranked number 24 in the nation. They'll go with the same lineup they had the first 3 games of the season. You see the 2 liberos, Kristen Baumhold and Ella Meyerbrock. How about McKenna Belcher? After not playing all of last season, the former transfer from Ashland has been an impact for this lineup for Findlay to start out 2025 from Coach Ryan Imperial and his Tampa Spartans. It's been a committee approach, and going with 3 different setters. We saw that it's game number in the second game that they played on the season, but the lineup pretty similar to what they had earlier. Anna Libero being a libero, with Dondero, Ron, Davis, Perez, Stranger, and Greg rounding out the starting lineup for Tampa. And still fouling in. Electric atmosphere here in the Martinez Center on a Saturday night. I'm glad you're spending it with us on TampaSpartans.tv. It'll be the GMAC Tournament MVP, Emma White, to start off our Saturday night at the Martinez Center. Dondero with a bad set, and Spartans can't recover, and the Oilers strike first. Tampa cruised through Emmanuel earlier this afternoon, winning in 3 straight sets. Findlay did the same thing over Lander, needing a little extra time to take that first set. And picking up where she left off versus Emmanuel is Jenna Davis. Side out for the Spartans. Davis 6 kills, 2 blocks in that victory versus the Lions earlier this afternoon. And give a side out for the Oilers. Gabriel Lomax takes a 2-7-1. Here comes the aforementioned McKenna Belcher. All she's done in her first 2 games as an Oiler has recorded 28 total kills. And that ball hit off the, again, since the ball hit off the partition on the basketball goal, since it is on the court of play, it is still live. We've seen that more frequently in today's games than yesterday. Spartans get the side out. Service from Davis. Looked like Lomax kind of got short-armed it a little bit. Wasn't sure if she wanted to pass it, wanted to dump it over, or how she wanted to play that. And Miller makes it 3-all. Miller, the 5'8" junior. Paced the Findlay attack in a win earlier today versus Lander with 12 kills, hitting .296 and 12 digs. Perez grazes off the hands of White, side out Spartans. So we'll take our first look this evening at Jenna Glaudel and Matt Carter. Glaudel earlier this afternoon, 16 assists and 3 digs. And that one sails out for the service air. Grace Hour will check in for Findlay. She will serve. And Findlay ranked in the top 25 in the NFCA preseason poll in the ABCA preseason poll for the first time since 2016. Now one finds this mark thanks to this arm of Rachel Gregg. Serving 4. Connor, who absolutely lit up Emmanuel this afternoon on serve. Miller tips it through. That was a touch. Point for Findlay, 5-all. Quick set again to Rachel Gregg. We'll see how Findlay adjusted that. Emmanuel did not find an answer for that early on. And Findlay will take an early timeout to discuss that strategy. And we'll take that early timeout with them. Said to be a good one here at the Martinez Center. Spartans with early advantage. It's set 1 on TampaSpartans.tv.
First 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Back inside the Martinez Center. Early timeout called by the Oilers. Tampa up 6-5. Victor Anderson, glad you're back with us here to wrap up the Tampa Volleyball Classic. And Belcher returns for the timeout with a vengeance. Side out Findlay. See our first look at Zoya Winkelfuss. She'll be joined by Grace Hour, Hannah Miller, Emma White, McKenna Belcher, and Abria Lomax. Matt Carter has that one dug out. Good pass by White. Going backside, back to Belcher, and that one caught Jenna Glaudel, and McKenna Belcher gives the Oilers the lead, 7-6. Tampa will have Davis, Glaudel, Carter, Schranger, Ron, and Anna Rivera. Glaudel in the middle, pushes that one right through the middle. Belcher, good job by Rivera, protected the backside. Spartans set up the offense back to the middle. Findlay ready for it that time. Quick set. Back and forth we go, and the rally's won by Emma White. 8-6 Findlay. Oilers have scored 3 straight off the timeout. And into the net for the service air. Kayla Dondero and Natalie Perez re-enter for the Spartans. Dondero will serve. Dondero 1 assist and 1 dig shy of a double-double earlier today versus Emmanuel. Free ball back to the Oilers. White on the slide, gets blocked. Back over, great defensive effort, and Spartans end up getting a point. Oh, they're gonna say Jenna Davis had a foot underneath the net. Both teams froze for a couple of seconds because they thought each team committed a violation, but it was Tampa's violation that got whistled first. So Findlay gets the point. 9-7, now 9-8. Stranger will serve. Tess paced the Spartans attack to their opening win of the season last night versus Lander. How about that response from Hannah Miller? McKenna Belcher back to serve. His all-conference performer at Ashland sat out last season and has made an immediate impact for Findlay in 2025. Nine serving 10, set 1. Make that 11-9 off the quick hit from Avery Lomax. We're seeing very elite volleyball being played right now in set 1. Findlay hitting just below 500. Tampa hitting 455 as a squad. And Perez sneaks that one underneath the arm of White, side out Spartans. Second team All-American from a year ago with a nice response. Jenna Glaudel will come on, and Matt Carter, after getting a last-second coaching, will join the fray for Dondero and Perez. Findlay hitting 529, Tampa hitting an even 500. Neither team has made an attack error so far in set 1. Tampa almost gets called for the lift. Oilers keep it on their side. And they go right up to Glaudel. Side out Findlay on the swing from Forrester. She'll come out for Grace Auer. 12-10 Findlay set 1. Victor Anderson with you for the Martinez Center as we wrap up the 2025 Tampa Volleyball Classic. And Auer sails over to Shoto Rivera for the service air. Ron will serve. Sails wide, and that will be our official first attack air of the night. Off the windup from Hannah Miller. Tied at a dozen. And that slide, look from our vantage point. I mean, I clipped the line, but the umpire says nope, just bounced outside of it. Tampa with 4 of the last 5 to take a 13-12 lead. No question about that one. Coleman put a little extra muscle on that one. Wanted to be no doubt that that one was in. 13 all. Carter to the late arriving bomb hold. And gets that one off Rivera. Back-to-back kills for Alana Pullman. And Findlay regains the edge, 14-13. And the tug of war continues. The biggest lead either team has had, 2 points. Belcher pops it through the block. And 15-13 Findlay. Brandon Pilial trying to settle down his squad. Taking on a top 25 foe. A small taste of what will to come for the Spartans in the next few weeks. And yeah, that will not go away. It's going to go around the antenna. Point for the Spartans. 14-15. Tampa down 1. Belcher, a little bit too much on that follow through. Even Steven 15. We have had 9 ties and 4 lead changes already. And we're not even halfway, we're at the halfway mark of this opening set. Big block by Jenna Davis. And Shanger there as well. Spartans regained the edge 16-15. Anna Rivera to serve. Belcher again, blocked again. Davis again, 17-15. Timeout Findlay. Jenna Davis slams the door shut on back-to-back swings. 17-15 Spartans will take a timeout here on Tampa Spartans TV. Tampa in a back and forth opening set. Victor Anderson back with you for the Martinez Center. 9 ties, 5 lead changes already in set number 1. Anna Rivera will serve for the Spartans. Tampa hitting 429, Findlay hitting a respectable 296. They were hitting over 500 at one point, and plays like that were the reason why. Alana Pullman gets the point and a side out for the Oilers. We'll have a substitution as Toya Winklefoos will check on the floor. She's joined by Grace Auer with Emma Miller, with Emma White, Hannah Miller, McKenna Belcher, and Avery Lomax. Darnell tips it over. Great pancake dig on the backside. Looked like that was Ray Sauer. And how about McKenna Belcher? Makes it 17-17. Tampa will have Waddell, Carter, Davis, Vaughn, Gregg, and Rivera. And that one sails over the shoulder for Schranger and Rivera, beg your pardon. That will be a service error. Natalie Perez and Kayla Dondaro will sub in for Carter and Glardell. Dondaro now to serve. 18-17. And a seismic day in the city of Tampa. Blocked, but stays on the Tampa side. McKenna Belcher gets the side out back to the Oilers. Overpass and dump down, and Lauren Forrester is the recipients. (19-18) Findlay. Schranger gets enough of it. Findlay cannot return its side out for Tampa. 19-19. Vaughn finds the hole in between Miller and the libero Ellerbrock. 20-19. Findlay used both of their timeouts in this set. Tampa still has there too. Coach Ryan Imperial hopes that he does not need to use one of them. Dondaro in the middle. Jenna Davis once again. 21-19. And that's where using that early timeout from Findlay hurts them here because they don't have that ability to stop the Tampa momentum. Spartans on a 3-0 run. And that one will halt things for the Spartans. Side out from Philly, needed that one right there. Didn't want to let it get to a 3-point game. We're going to see a late substitution with the serve as Cecilia Palm, the serving ace for Findlay, will come on for McKenna Belcher. Down to Perez in the middle. No touch. 21-21. On partially clipped, Oilers looking to regain the lead. Miller off the block, great effort by Schranger to set up the free ball, which goes out of bounds. 22-21 Findlay. To see Coach Imperial will take the timeout. The answer is yes. Timeout Tampa. Spartans reeled off 3 straight to take a 21-19 lead. Findlay goes on a 3-0 run of their own to take a 22-21 advantage. Quick timeout from Tampa. We'll be back for the exciting finish after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
No, that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating, and verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit. Act with respect and be officially human.
22-21. Findlay takes the lead. Closing stages of set number one. Victor Anderson back with you inside the Martinez Center. A thrilling opening set. And the All-American Natalie Perez makes it 22-22. See Laney Purdue come on for Jenna Davis. Get Findlay out of timeouts in this first set. Tampa still has one remaining. Miller gets blocked, stays with the Oilers. Miller again over the block. Was there a touch? Answer is no. 23-22. Remember, Findlay used an early timeout when it was 6-5 Tampa. Back-to-back swings where it could have been a touch. Instead of being 24-22 Findlay, it's 24-22 Tampa, and the Spartans with 2 set points. Nandaro, wrong. Ron tries to get the corner, doesn't get there. Miller in the corner. 24-23. We'll sub back in Jenna Davis. Coach Imperial used his second timeout. He has one left, and he will. We'll keep it here. So both teams out of timeouts for the set. 24-23 Tampa. Set point coming up. And I'm sure the focus for the Spartans is to figure out where number 15 is and find a way to limit her. However, it's been McKenna Belcher who has been the focal point of this Findlay offense in set number one. 7 kills for Belcher, hitting .385. Holman, Forrester, and Miller each with 3 kills. Findlay actually has 9 more kills than the Spartans, 19-10, but it's been the service game and the blocks that are the biggest reasons why the Spartans find themselves with set point. For the Spartans, Perez with 3 kills, Davis, Stranger, and Gregg each with 2. Davis with 2 block assists, Stranger and Carter with the other blocks. Findlay needed extra points yesterday to call it set one over Manual. Set point number 2 for Tampa. Perez. That's going to go long, and now it's win by 2. 24-24. Really lost the first set against Emmanuel, 25-20. Now not dropped a set since. That's blocked, and that will stay in. Alana Pullman, and now Findlay have set point on their serve. Meyer Ellebrock still on service. Belcher to Miller. Good job by Rivera to cover on the backside. Rod guesses the corner. 25 up. And we continue here at the Martinez Athletic Center. Carter and Glaudel back on the floor for the Spartans. Glaudel to serve. Again, both teams out of timeouts. That service there will get Findlay that second set point. 26-25, and Grace Auer will be tasked with the responsibility to set things up on the service. Ron, inside the line, 26 up. And it'll be Connor Ron with the service. Over the middle, off the net, and Tampa somehow gets that back over. Holman blocked off the hands of Stringer. 27-26. Heller with a deep breath before she serves it over to the Spartans. Just goes out of bounds, and Findlay takes set number one in an absolute thriller, 28-26. Spartans had three separate chances to close out set number one, could not do it. And now Findlay takes advantage and they close out the set 28-26. We'll recap all the happenings and get you set for set number two from the Martinez Center after this timeout. Back here inside the Martinez Center, Philly fought off 3 set points to take set two, 28-26. Findlay out-hit Tampa in that opening set, 302 to 241. Findlay had 20 kills to the Spartans 12. And McKenna Belcher, along with some solid play along the net from Holman and Forster, were able to close out that opening set for the Oilers. Belcher with 7 kills for Findlay. Connor Ron and Natalie Perez each with 3 kills for Tampa. Tampa will start with a serve to start set number 2. Both teams going with their same starters as were the opening set. Darrow to serve. Then McKenna Belcher picks up where she left off in set 1. Findlay fans plenty to cheer about. Those who made the trip up from the Great Midwest. Now one gets tipped and Belcher dove at it, and then he saw the ball got deflected. Wasn't able to help keep that ball alive. Schranger serves. Schranger with the great dig, diving right near the free throw line. Belcher across the court, pops it back over to the Oilers. Perez. Great hustle by Miller. Through the block, and that is Forrester. 2-1 Findlay. Two. They're exchanging points so far in the second set. Off the block. Hand from Donato got down. It's just a touch late. Side out for Findlay, 3-2. Lila Ellerbrock now on serve. Ellerbrock, one of the 2 liberos that are now allowed in college volleyball, who implemented last year. Connor Ron continues her red hot Saturday. Gets the side out for Tampa. Allow Jenna Glaudel and Mac Carter to enter. Glaudel on serve. Glaudel 3 assists and 2 digs in set 1. What a response from Forrester. Side out from Findlay. Forrester out, hour in. Findlay. And an answer for again, Connor Ron. Had 13 kills in their sweep versus Emmanuel earlier this afternoon. Is on pace for another strong showing. Ron with 5 kills, 2 of them already in set 2. Is there a touch? Linesman says there was. Oh, they're gonna have a conversation. Now, it's one of those things where they can't definitively tell. Do they just replay the point? As the ball clipped the net, then went over the arm over the fingertips of Schranger. The question was there any way that she touched it? Remember, you don't have instant replay on the Division II side. They do say it was a touch point for Findlay. Not too much fuss on the Tampa side of things. about Belcher with the big block on the slide. It's 6-4 Oilers. Findlay not intimidated, playing in the Sunshine State against the number 10 team in the nation. Great job by Auer. And Miller trying to smack that over with the left hand and left it short. Box serving 6, here's Anna Rivera for service. Through the block, nice save. Free ball back to Findlay. Pulling it off the block is Pullman. 7-5 Findlay. You see Zoya Winkelfuss. Check back in, no, she will serve. Tampa fans none too pleased. They thought that was inside the line. It looked like for where it was, it appeared that it may have got inside the line. Our official down below talking to our chair umpire. Yep. So it did get inside the line. And now the Findlay fans are upset. Well, one thing you can say, the officials are being consistent. And suffice it to say, Coach Polk is called as plain to say it is not very good. That was inside the lines. That's the service ace. I will say the linesmen have been a little slow in terms of making decisions. Coach Wick will take a timeout to cool himself off and hopefully cool off this Tampa offense. We'll take it with them. Set 2 action coming up from the Martinez Center on TampaSpartans.tv. There was not much talking in terms of the Findlay huddle. There's a couple of words. You got this. We know what happened. Let's not let it affect us. And back on the court, the Oilers were with 45 seconds still left in the timeout. 7-7, set number 2. Victor Anderson back with you for the Martinez Center. Findlay took set 1, 28-26. Looking for an early statement win against a top 10 opponent. That was the service there. 8-7. Perez. Good work by Baumholtz. Through the block, and how about the effort from Lauren Forrester? 9-7 Findlay. That one goes long out of bounds. Coach Wick pointed said, no, that was it. You saw him and his assistant coach, Anna Tong, doing some of the TikTok dances that his players are doing before the game. Great job by Belcher, even better effort by Rivera. And they're gonna call that violation on Forrester. Nine in set number 2. 10-9 off the ace. Schranger gives the Spartans the lead once again in set 2. Through the block, Spartans jump on it. Oh, gets denied by Forrester. Set 2. And a late substitution for Belcher as Cecilia Palm will come in. Tipped over by Perez. Beautiful pancake dig, but the Oilers can't get it back over. Point for Tampa. Jenna Davis set to serve for Tampa. 10-10, set 2. Off the net and off the hand of Lomax for the ace. Time clean receive for Findlay, and an even cleaner swing off the hand of Lauren Forrester. Side out Oilers. Great response as Pullman will check on. Baumholt now on serve. Nice save, and Perez right there. They're worried about the middle set. That opened up the pocket perfectly for Natalie Perez, and she slams home the kill, makes it 13-11. Braudel and Carter back on for Tampa. Braudel on serve. They're trying to find the corner that time. Middle set. Great effort by Belcher. That one gets blocked. That's Rachel Gregg. 14-11 Spartans. Drops inside out for Findlay. That'll give Grace Auer a chance to check back in. And Connor Ron finds the quarter. 15-12. Tampa creating some separation in set number 2. A dig by Rivera right in front of the 10-foot line. Blocked on the middle attack. They'll go back on the outside. Stranger. Out of bounds, no touch, point Findlay. Oilers down to 13 serving 15. It'll be Hannah Miller on service. And right back in the middle, back to Rachel Gregg. 16-13. Rivera now on serve for Tampa. Now one kicks in, 17-13. Coach Kogelbaum used his second timeout. The answer is yes. We'll take it with them. Spartans are going to even up this match at a set apiece. We'll see if they can do so when we return to the Martinez Center after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Did you know that verbal abuse from fans, coaches, and
Tampa. Spartans are going to even up this match after falling in set one, 28-26. Victor Anderson back with you from inside the Bon Martinez Athletic Center. So we wrap up the 2025 Tampa Volleyball Classic. Both teams starting 2-0 on the season. Got all top 25 preseason opponents. And a nice response from Findlay off the timeout. Zoya Winklefoos will be on the floor. She'll be joined by White, Lomax, Belcher, Miller, and Grace Owl. We'll give her the Tampa 6 in just a moment. Davis sets it up backside. Good job digging that one out by Findlay. Off the net and off the block. That's McKenna Belcher, 15-17. Tampa has Davis, Glaudell, Carter, and a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here as Findlay strings off 2 straight points after the timeout. They cut the lead in half, 17-15. Coach Brian Imperial, in his first week in games as the new Tampa head coach, picked up his first win last night in impressive fashion over Lander. Swept Emmanuel. Emmanuel gave Tampa some trouble early on, but the Spartans were able to cruise. Ace to Connor Ross, 13 kills. Meanwhile, for Findlay, they dropped the first set to Emmanuel on Friday before winning that match in 4 sets. And then earlier today, took care of Lander with ease in straight sets, 25-17, 25-19, 25-14. Hannah Miller had 12 kills, McKenna Belcher with 11, Alana Pullman with 10 kills in the victory. Findlay has won 7 straight sets after losing the opening set to Emmanuel. That in jeopardy right now. Spartans up by 2, but the Oilers have to serve off the timeout. Nice block by Abria Lomax. And it's a 1-point lead.
16, 17.
Inside of Gregg, that one gets clipped. Oilers scramble, had to get that one over. And that one gets in on the corner. Side out Spartans. Push the lead back to a pair. And we'll have a pair of substitutions in the process with Dondero and Perez. Off the net, and that will be a service ace. Those net serves always throw players for a loop. And the Spartan cry for the ace. Off the block attempt from Jenna Davis, side out Findlay. Lauren Forrester checks back in. And Emma White will be serving. Actually, just confirming who's going to be on serve for Findlay. White was in position. Scoreboard is correct, 17-18, Findlay down by 1. Nice tip, popped up beautifully by White. And that one will sail long from Schrenger, and it's 18 all. Perez, out of bounds, 19-18 Findlay. And Tampa will use their final timeout. So we'll keep it here. As just like set one, both coaches exhausted both of their timeouts. Findlay up 1. Trying to take a 2-set lead on the road against the Spartans. Now the officials are going over to check the score. The live stats has it as a 19-19 tie. The scoreboard here in the Martinez Center has a 19-18. So that's what our officials are discussing right now. So both teams out of timeouts. The score on the court is correct. Findlay up by 1, 19-18. Big block, and again, it's Jenna Davis. Now we're tied at 19. 19-19. Free ball by Forrester, and just goes out of bounds. Spartan lead is 1. Spartan lead is 2, thanks to number 2, Connor Ron. 21-19. Oilers desperately need to get a side out. Dondaro goes back to Ron, dancing along the net, was touched. Perez, and somehow slipped through both Miller and Ellerbrock. 22-19, now Grace Auer will come on for defensive purposes for Lauren Forrester. There was a touch, side out Findlay. Did they need that up? They didn't ever need that one. Low line drive serve. Perez gets her swing blocked. They'll go back to Roan. Blocked again. Pop back over. Great effort by Tampa. They get the free ball to Findlay. Off of Rivera. How about Grace Auer? 21 serving 22. By our count, both coaches have used both of their timeouts. Although the scoreboard still says Tampa has one left. Findlay scrambles, Belcher gets it clipped. Dondaro over to Davis. That's Findlay still has to play, and Coach Wick is hot right now. He thought that should have been 4 hits on Tampa. Coach Wick is absolutely, you can understand the frustration, ladies and gentlemen. He was none too pleased about what appeared to potentially have been a 4-hit violation. And you saw Hannah Miller took a little extra joy with that attempt. Side out Oilers, 22 serving 23. Both teams making substitutions. There'll be one of the 2 liberos. Kirsten Baumholt serves, 22 serving 23. And a lift violation whistled against Dondaro. 23-23. Again, both teams by our count out of timeouts. Perez splits it through. And it's set point coming up for Tampa. Laudell and Carter on the floor. It should be 24-23. Counting the number of substitutions available. Tampa has used 12. Findlay has used 11. Both teams allowed 15 per set. Tampa again serving for set number 2. And that catches the corner. And again, we will need extra points. 24-24. Laudell, Ron, out. No, it almost snuck in. It looked out, but the official pointed his flag down in the last second. Set point number 2 for Tampa. right to Ron. In the middle, great job taking that one out by Sir, and big block, and who else? It's Rachel Gregg this time, and Tampa is able to even up set number 2, 26-24. Coach Wick probably thinking a couple of calls go their way. They're up 2-0, but instead, 1-1. And the best of 5 is now a best of 3. More for the Martinez Center after this on TampaSpartans.tv. This matchup has been as advertised. Here inside the Martinez Center, Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us on TampaSpartans.tv and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Findlay needed extra points to take set 1, 28-26. Tampa did the same thing to them in set 2, 26-24. And a matchup that has been nothing short of thrilling. And we kind of figured going into this tournament, we have 2 teams ranked in the preseason top 25. One making it to the regional final, one making it to the regional semifinal, who lost to the eventual national champions. You knew a matchup like this would not end quickly. And it certainly has not. "28 ties, 13 lead changes in set number 2 through the first 2 sets, and we are short an official. Oh, he was having a conversation with one of our administrators. I just had everything so far. It'll be Emma White to serve to start set number 3 for Findlay. And that will start off an ace.
It's on the bench. Not over. One, over 0.
The service game has been strong. The service game has been much improved for Findlay as the weekends progress forward. Great dig on the back row by Baumholt. Free ball over to the Spartans. Montaro in the middle. Finds Jenna Davis. Side out Tampa. Oilers trying to jump out to her early lead. McKenna Belcher has her attack partially clipped. And how about Chandler? How about Connor Ron, the sophomore out of Orange Park, Florida? Makes it a 2-1 Spartan advantage. Right in the middle, Rivera right there to read the swing from Lomax. That's it off the block. Spartans with 3 straight. Findlay has had to use a timeout early in each of the first 2 sets. We'll replace that you won't have to do though. McKenna Belcher, who is putting on regardless of how this match unfolds, certainly worthy of GMAC Offensive Player of the Week honors for how she's been able to be the focal point of this Oilers offense. And the service game is not too bad either. Ace ties things up at 3. Second ace for the Oilers in this set. Belcher, 13 kills, hitting a robust .423 along with the service ace and a block solo. Darrow, and pushing it through is Connor Ron. Four to 3. It'll be Jenna Davis with the serve. How about the response again from Findlay, this time from Lauren Forrester? Ella Brock on service. Oilers scrambling to get a free ball back. Darrow in the middle. That one gets snuffed out by Alana Pullman. Says, you're not pulling that one by me again. 5-4 Findlay. Now serve goes short and into the net for the air. Side out Tampa. I'll bring in Jenna Glaudel and Mac Carter. Great job on that middle set to Pullman. Rivera, Ron, clipped, and a couple Oilers nearly collide with one another. Rally continues, back to Connor Ron. And that one gets inside the free throw line and gets Coach Wick up and wondering who's front row. Hey, where were y'all at? 6-5 Spartans. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us here from the Martinez Center. We wrap up the Tampa Volleyball Classic 2025 edition. Great effort by Miller to give an opportunity for its free ball back to Tampa. And Conneron once again starting to flex some muscle like she did earlier this afternoon versus Emmanuel. And by the way, Conneron, she had 13 kills in that match versus Emmanuel. She now has 14 kills, 15 kills, and only 2+ sets in. And Hannah Miller took exception to that last point. Grace Hour checks in and she will serve. Maudel slide to Carter. Somehow got that one in, and with the dexterity to keep her body from touching the net. It's 8-6 Tampa. Great dig on the backside by Ron, and an even better swing in the middle by Rachel Gregg. Good work by Rachel Gregg off that beautiful set from Jenna Glaudel. And right into the net for the service there. Seven serving 9, Findlay down 2. Tampa scrambles to get it back over. Bad second touch by the Spartans, set that up. A great read on the back row by Ron. Belcher rolls it over to Carter. And great job using all of that 5'11" frame from Alana Holman. She's listed on the roster at 5'11". When we're walking by her while the team was warming up, maybe 6. Her arms make her look like she's 6'5", 6'6". Very lanky, and uses every bit of that height to her advantage, and can jump out the gym with the best of them. 9-9 Findlay. Holman middle hitter from Maria Stein, Ohio. Again, listed at 5'11", first team all GMAC. It was a Midwest Region All Tournament team selection last year. And you see why. Holman starting to exert herself in this third set. Oilers have the lead 10-9. Coach Brian Imperial will burn a timeout. Momentum wears orange and black. Findlay with the 10-9 lead in set 3. This is the Tampa Volleyball Classic on TampaSpartans.tv. (10-9) Findlay in set 3, tied up at 1 set apiece in his top 25 showdown on this opening Saturday of the Division II season. Victor Anderson back with you from the Martinez Center, and is turned into the Alana Holman Center as the first team all-conference selection, continues to exert her dominance over the Tampa front row. 11-9 Findlay. Oilers have reeled off 4 in a row. Belcher through the Tampa block. Laudell. Good effort on the backside, but all a little bit for naught from Grace Hours. Side out for the Spartans. Anna Rivera now will serve. Spartans look for the tie, and will get it thanks to Tess Strenger, who's had a relatively quiet evening considering how dominant she's been the first 2 matches of this Tampa Volleyball Classic. Tess's 6th kill ties things up at 11. And service ace gives the Spartans the lead. Rivera racks up the ace. 12-11 Tampa. Great pass by Miller. That was just dumped over by Miller. Belcher can't get there. Harder, read nicely by Emma White. And once again, Alana Pullman. It was McKenna Belcher the first 2 sets. Now in set 3, Alana Pullman has put her stamp on this set. Side out for Findlay. Tied at 12. A great job by Findlay to get it over back to the Spartans. And that'll be a kill for Jenna Davis. 13-12. Dondero and Perez back on. And into the net for the service air. 13-13. Tips it over, Findlay reads it. No touch, point for Tampa. Fourteen to 13. Belcher has her attack dug out by Strenger. Off the antenna and almost clipped the line. That would have been a momentum changing point if that would have stayed in for Findlay, but instead, timeout for the Oilers. Spartans up by 2. We will take the timeout with the Oilers as well. More for the Martinez Center after this timeout on TampaSpartans.tv. An overhand look at the Martinez Center. Been treated to some phenomenal volleyball over these last 2 days. And a big old cherry on top is this top 25 matchup. Spartans up by 2 in set 3. Victor Anderson back with you as we wrap up this year's Tampa Volleyball Classic. Spartans doubled up the Oilers 6-3 after the last timeout called by Brian Imperial. See if Findlay can have a similar response. So far, the answer to that is no, 16-13. Nice save by Miller. And that was clipped on the line. That's clipped out of fingertips. Point for Tampa. 17-13. Because Schrenger's still on service. Right in the middle, that's blocked, and of course, it's Shanna Davis. Grace Auer will come in for Forrester. Free ball over to the Spartans. Can they extend their lead? The answer is no. Great hustle by Findlay. Perez tipped and blocked. Ron blocked. Lomax. Miller to Auer. The rally continues. Ron will end the rally. I don't know if that grazed off of Belcher's fingertips or Belcher's got it enough of the way of Ellerbrock to not have her play it cleanly. Nonetheless, timeout Findlay. That's their final timeout. We'll keep it here on the floor. Ever since Coach Imperial called this timeout with his team down 10-9, Tampa has outscored Findlay 10-3, including a 6-0 run when the set was tied at 13 to force Findlay to burn both of their timeouts. So after what was a seesaw first 2 sets, which had a combined 28 ties, 13 lead changes. It started similarly in set number 3 with 8 ties and 5 lead changes. But it's been all Tampa since that 13-13 tie. Oilers need something to go good, and they need it now. Instead, Perez and Jenna Davis make it 20-13. Tampa has now scored 7 unanswered. Make it 8 unanswered on the service ace. That won't go out of bounds and a point. 14 serving 21. If ever was a time for Hannah Miller to string some points together, it will be here. Oh, but that's a nice start. Oh, I thought it got there. Did not. Fourteen, 22-14. Spartans closing in on a set 3 win. Just outside the 10-foot line. Findlay on top of it, and right on top of that was Grace Sauer for the side out. Oilers have to scramble, send it back over to the Spartans. And a rare mistake on the Dondaro-Gregg connection. Makes it 16-22. One sails out of bounds, service out of bounds, service air, side out for Tampa. Laudell and Carter. What gets the end point for Tampa, set point for the Spartans. White, that gets blocked for the set. Carter! Set 3 goes to Tampa. Spartans goes to set on a 12-3 run and dominate Findlay 25-16. We'll see what answers the Oilers can figure out when we come back to the Martinez Center here on TampaSpartans.tv. Back inside the Martinez Center. Spartans go on a 13-3 run to close out set 3, 25-16, and find themselves up 2-1 in this top 25 showdown. Victor Anderson back with you on TampaSpartans.tv, as well as those of you watching us on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Want to send a special hello and thank you to all of our fans supporting Findlay, watching their reigning GMAC tournament champions this past weekend in the Sunshine State. Findlay will look to force a 5th set. And they've given Tampa all they can handle right now. Grace Hour will be in the starting lineup for Findlay to start set number 4. Everyone else remains the same in terms of the starters for both Findlay and Tampa. In the middle, good work by Grace Sauer. Play has been heavy on the antenna towards our chair umpire to start set 4. And that point will end off the swing by Tess Schrenger. Individual leaders for both teams. Connor Ron with 16 kills for Tampa. Natalie Perez and now Tess Schrenger with 7. For Findlay, Michaela Belcher with 14, Alana Pullman with 10. 6 of them coming in set number 2. There was a touch, point for Findlay. Schrenger. Right on the outside, big block by Schrenger. Perez takes advantage and finds the back line. Was there a touch? Yes, there was. Side out for the Oilers. (3-2) for the Spartans now. Fascinated to see what adjustments that both teams will make in this 4th set. How does Tampa handle Holman, and what do the Oilers do to stop both Connor On and Jenna Davis? Well, just as we say that, Abriel Lomas says, hey, don't forget about me now. All set 4. Overpass, Oilers jump on it. Tampa with the free ball back to Findlay. Belcher got one off the right shoulder of Kayla Dondero. Ron finds it in the free throw line. Point for Tampa. 4-4. Laudell and Carter back on. Rivera. Trying to get Carter involved on the outs. Got to get Carter involved. This is a Spartan fingertip point for the Spartans. 5-4. And that's a great response again by Lauren Forrester. Like to see what happens in this next 10-point stretch. Both sides playing even, similar to what we saw in sets 1 and 2. Miller with an awkward angle, somehow get that through the Tampa double block. Great hustle by Belcher, but the free ball attempt by Baumhole into the net. Timeout Findlay, and another early timeout called by Coach Wick in this 4th set. 6-5 Spartans will continue for the Martinez Center after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
You know, that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating, and verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit. Act with respect and be officially human.
Six-5 Spartans, another early timeout for Findlay. In 3 of the 4 sets, Findlay has used the timeout during the 11 to 15 point mark. They do it here again. Oh. And a lack of communication between Rachel Gregg and Jenna Glaudel is also the side out for the Oilers. Quick set, that time was read by McKenna Belcher. Seven, 6. And that one gets through. Tess Stranger with the point. Oh, that should be a point for Findlay, excuse me, 8-6. And now time, no question. On the point for Matt Carter, side out Tampa. Belcher blocked. Mac Carter. 8-all. Wide side out for Findlay. So Winkelfuss will come on and will serve. Little set. Findlay scrambles and sends it back to Tampa. Back again to Matt Carter. Carter responsible for 3 of the last 4 Tampa points. Low line drive serve. Belcher blocked. Of course, Jenna Davis. 10-9 Tampa. Davis with 6 total blocks, and that'll be 4 hits. (11-9) Spartans. They're going to keep going back to Belcher. Cross court gets that one over right towards the Spartans. Off of Rivera. Great hustle by Strenger. Free ball back over. Findlay wanted 2 hits, but instead they'll take the point to eat the old-fashioned way from Abria Lomax. Coach Wick is wondering, where was my double hit violation, as he looks over at our official down below from our broadcast position. (12-10). Schenger on to serve. And Rivera and Strenger got their singles crossed up just a little bit. Side out for Findlay. Halm comes on for Belcher. Oh, how about an answer? We saw this versus Lander on Friday, and Connor Ron earlier today versus Emmanuel. Ron with the one with the kill. Bad set, and that miraculously gets over. And as if on cue, Connor Ron once again. 14-11. That's gonna just miss clip in the corner. It'll be a service error. Alana Pullman will re-enter. Baumholt set to serve. Perez through the block. Baumholt trying to get that first touch to pop it up in the air instead of grazes off the fingertips. 15-12. Here comes Glaudel and Carter. Glaudel on serve, 15-12 Tampa. Laudel one dig away from her second double-double of the weekend. Laudel, Ron, 16-12. Coach waking up out of his seat. He was going to use his second timeout. He will not. Carter, gets blocked. Good recovery by Glaudel. Free ball by Ron. Through the block from Forrester. Side out Findlay. Oakwick's like, that's the offense I've been looking for since set number 2. Laudel, middle set by Gregg, gets blocked out of bounds. Carter had to pull that hand out of the way in the last second like a hand being caught in the cookie jar. 17-13. On the slide, and out one gets blocked, and how about the reaction from Tess Stranger? 18-13, timeout Findlay. Spartans can smell 3-0. We'll see if they can get to that finish line when we return on Tampa Spartans Dart TV. Findlay looking for any sort of response. Won't get one there. Stranger off the right hand of Grace Sauer, 19-13. Set 4 was tied at 9. Since then, 9-4 Tampa. Since then, 10-4 Tampa, now 10-5 Tampa. Off the Alana Pullman kill. Findlay needs a string of points, and they need them in the worst way right now. Loppa Stranger right there. And great work by Alana Pullman. 15 serving 19. Middle set just goes a touch long from Rachel Gregg. 19-16. Coach Imperial will elect not to use his first timeout. And there's a good reason why. The name was Seth Stranger. 20-16. Findlay still has one timeout remaining. Belcher has not been as impactful with the offense in these last two sets, but Matt Carter certainly has. 21-16. Carter with 6 kills tonight, go along with 3 total blocks. And that will be a service ace, 22-16. Anna Rivera serves up the 3rd ace of her evening and the 8th for Tampa. Actually, that's the 2nd service ace, 7 for Tampa. 3 different Spartans with multiple aces. And who went into the net? Looks like it will be called on Hannah Miller, 23-16. Spartans 2 points away from starting the first weekend of the Brian Imperial era, 3-0. And have a top 25 win on top of it. Lott stays with Findlay. White trying to go with the no look and went into the net. Match point coming up for Tampa. Rivera with the match on her right arm. Tough receive from Glaudel. Side out for Findlay. It'll be Zoya Winkelfuss who'll check in. 17 serving 24, match point number 2 for Tampa. Free ball back over. Spartans look to close it out in 4. Stranger slides it past McKenna Belcher. Game, set, match. Spartans win. It was dip and tuck the first 2 sets and appeared to be the same way in set 3. But the Spartans went on a 12-3 run to take set 3, 25-17, 25-16, and do the same thing in set number 4, 25-17. So the Spartans start their 2025 campaign 3-0. Findlay ends their week in Florida with a mark of 2-1. Connor on 20 kills, a .395 percentage to go along with 8 digs. Tess Stranger with 10 kills. Natalie Perez, 9 kills. Matt Carter off the bench, 7 kills, 7 service aces for the Spartans this evening. Meanwhile, for Findlay, 4 different Oilers in double figures. McKenna Belcher with 15, Alana Pullman with 13. Most of them coming in that second set. Lauren Forrester, 10 kills. Hannah Miller with 10 kills. Emma White, 44 assists, 10 digs. But in a losing effort for Findlay, as it will end their weekend in Tampa with a 2-1 mark. Findlay will head over to the Hampton Inn & Suites Grand Rapids Downtown Classic next weekend to take on Cannon, Davenport, and Central Missouri, while Tampa will find themselves out on the West Coast next weekend as they take on Cal State East Bay, San Francisco State, and Menlo before they return home for the mini crossover 2 weekends from now versus Valdosta State and West Florida. For a full recap of tonight's action, make sure to visit TampaSpartans.com, and to watch this game on demand or any of the action from this weekend's Tampa Volleyball Classic, visit TampaSpartans.tv to get all of the games. So for our entire crew, my name is Victor Anderson. We say so long from the Martinez Center. Spartans start the Brian Imperial era 3-0 as they knock off top 25 Findlay in 4 sets. We'll talk to you next time on TampaSpartans.tv and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Until then, we say have a pleasant Saturday evening and good night.